Hey, and welcome. I'm Alton Sacrifice, and this is how I got partnered in 33 days. So before we dive right into the numbers, I streamed regularly to my friends for going on 8 or 9 years. I used Twitch super regularly. I was a constant force in viewing and gifting subs and always in people's chats. I knew Twitch inside and out as a viewer, and I knew it as a little bit as a streamer, as I'd worked with a couple of partners on ideas and things they can do to improve their stream over the couple of years before I started streaming myself. The reason I decided to stream myself was I was like, I'm helping other streamers do it. I can do this. What's stopping me? And the first few things I need to ask myself before I got there was, what makes me special? Why would someone want to watch me? What can I do to make myself stand out from the other viewers? What would make people want to click on me? The same as what you do on YouTube, same as what you do on any social media if you want to do it as a job. Once I'd figured out what my unique selling point was for me as a person and my stream, I picked the fact that I used to do motorsport. I raced in F3 in 2008 in the Australian Drivers' Championship. I have lap records. I've been quite successful. So I thought I could leverage this in the motorsport and sim racing area. When I decided this, F1 had launched about a couple of weeks before I started streaming. So the game was fresh and had a lot of new viewers in it. So using the hype of a new game and lots of people searching it, my unique identifier as a motorsport expert, and in a category that was underserved, I was able to catapult myself to Twitch partner in just 33 days. I was able to apply, and I received that a couple of weeks later. So now let's look at the numbers. I used to stream first-person shooters to an average of 3 to 10 viewers. On this day, I had a host, so I ended up at around 20. Then, once I started F1, I just put a Facebook post out to my friends, said, hey, I'm going to stream some F1. I started off with 6 viewers, quickly leapt up to 11, then to 27, and then I was around 50 to 60 in the middle of my stream. Because it was going so well, I actually overextended my stream and got really tired towards the end and started to put on a bad show. That's something that you really have to be conscious as a streamer, not overextending your stream here. You can see at the start, I got so excited that every time I streamed, I overextended, and at the end, I got tired, got boring, stopped talking, and the quality of the stream died. I know a lot of people won't recommend you to look at individual days, but for me, this is something that I needed to reflect on immediately and fix it, because I was losing viewers on the tail end of the stream. If a person jumped into my stream, they go, oh, this guy's boring. At the end, he just sits here and drives around. I, for the first week, always went too long. But I fine-tuned and kept perfecting it, getting better and better, figuring out what I was wanting to do. I was watching back my streams, realizing when I was bored. That's something that a lot of people don't do. I watched back my streams. You get taught this when you learn new games and when you do motorsport and when you do any sort of sport consistently that you want to improve at. You watch your replays. You know, this is a replay of what you're doing. If you can't sit there and watch your replay, you're probably not interesting enough to stream. You really, that's something I feel like I need to emphasize to most people. You need to be able to sit down and watch a few hours of yourself in a row and say, I enjoyed that. Because if you didn't, why is anyone else going to enjoy it? You know, you should be your biggest fan, if anything. Sounds a little bit egotistical, but you gotta watch yourself and see, should I keep talking? Should I shut up here? Should I build up emphasis on this point? That sort of thing. You know, with a motorsport game, it's really easy to build a story arc through a race, and keep it interesting and keep the hype around what's happening. You can be, I'm in third and I'm challenging for second, and first is not far away and we're trying to get first, and we've spun off and crashed. You know, like, it's part of a story and an arc, and you need to be able to sell that. You know, if you're playing a battle royale, it can start off really chill and chatty, and then maybe it gets more serious towards the end. Or or whatever you pick. You got to pick your poison and figure out what you would find entertaining, what you think others would find entertaining. But I really, really think watching back replays, realizing what's going wrong, because there's always something that could be done better, and working on that. And for me, at the start, I was streaming too long. I was getting tired towards the end, and it was not as interesting, and it was more boring, and I needed to do one less race a day. And I did that. And you can see by the numbers that I was finishing at my highest point all the time towards the end, because the best content would happen right at the end. And so the race would finish and I'd end the stream. You know, I wouldn't sit around chatting for too long or anything. Occasionally I did little bits here where I'd did one more race or I did a stream, but you can generally see the trend was just up, up, up. So on the next page, this is the next month. This is August, and the previous month was July. You can see there's a slight downtrend here. What happened? Well, the hype of the game went away, and unfortunately, I live in Australia, and we have this thing called bad internet. And I was losing upwards of 5 to 10% of all packets through this period at the end here. And it was making the stream unwatchable. I was watching my replays and I couldn't watch it anymore. I was watching them beforehand, and then I'd finish my stream, I'd start watching my stream back, and I'd go, oh man, people are watching this. It was mostly just coming through as audio, because 1 in 10 packets wasn't making it. Anywhere between 1 in 10 and 1 in 20, it was just dropping all the time. And I'm very blessed now that I got partnered and I got myself to a point where I was able to go and commit to an office space where it had reliable internet. But I no longer stream at home. I have to stream from an office place. So I drive to work to stream. But that's been a great blessing in itself. Some of the important factors to take away from looking at graphs and seeing what's happening is you can see the spikes in the days. I could figure out which days were more popular. I could figure out which time slots were more popular. One of the biggest things I was doing is I was taking every Sunday off. I was taking every Sunday off and making sure I had some sort of break. Although I still kind of burnt myself out a little bit here. So this graph, while it declined, I also got a little under the weather. I started feeling down. I started doubting myself. I started thinking, what am I doing wrong? And especially when it's something that's out of your control, like your internet connection, it's really, really hard to stay focused and to know what to do. I should have instantly pivoted and started making YouTube videos during that period, or posting like crazy on socials, or doing highlights or something like that. But I kind of just pushed into the hole that was, I can't stream though, because the next month I just stopped. I just took a big long break after I got that partner tick. I was just like, that's it. I did it. I did what I wanted to do, and I'd sort of hit my goal, and I didn't even have any more goals after that. And towards the end, I will discuss what I would change and what sort of roles and goals and that sort of thing I would set up for myself to be able to power through, and what I've got in place now over what I had previously. Now, a little bit of key information I've held back was I didn't use any socials at all, other than the odd Facebook post to my Facebook friends that I was going live. I didn't use anything. I didn't use Discord. I didn't use Twitter. I didn't use YouTube, anything. This is purely growth on Twitch. Now, what made it stand out from everything else? It was the fact that in my title, I had my history in motorsport. I had F3 driver playing F1 2020 on with no assists. So I was saying I'm doing it really hard. I've got the game set wound up to the maximum. I'm an ex-professional driver, and you can see what it looks like when a professional driver plays this game, where that made me stand out from everyone else, where Other games don't have that ability, you know, like no one's a real life Apex player other than the professionals, and there's hundreds of professionals in those games. Also, the use of tags. Twitch introduced tags just before that, and as a lot of social media gurus will tell you, anytime a new feature is introduced, the algorithm's heavily skewed towards using that feature. When they just introduced tags, and I was using them like crazy. I was picking all the hot tags and popping them on my thing. Sometimes they weren't even that relevant to what I was doing. I use auditory ASMR because the cars sound nice. And some people do say that. They're like, oh man, I just have the sound of the F1 cars going on in the background. It sounds great. So I cheekily had that in there too. And that alone actually was viable for a lot of the views coming in, which I could see through my Twitch stats. So what would I change and how would I go about it? Personally, now knowing what I know now, I wouldn't have done it as an experiment. I thought, I'm just going to do this for a little bit. This coronavirus thing, that's going to go away. I'm going to be able to do my live events and real life stuff that I've wanted to do the whole time. And I can just do this as an experiment, make a YouTube video and help out the community and show people how to gain followers and viewers on Twitch. And Twitch alone, that is, not using anything else. Because I believed it was possible and I wanted to prove it. The things that I would change, I now would stream about 2 hours less a day, especially at the start. I'd probably stream about 4 hours less. I was doing 10+ hour streams with a racing game where you've physically actually got to steer the wheel. You know, you've got the force feedback kicking through. I even had a couple of niggles in my shoulder at times, and I started seeing a massage therapist right before I'd go to stream a couple of times a week, just to extend how long I could stream for. People who do, say, Beat Saber streams and anything super physical on stream can testify to that. You can't do a exercise stream for 10 hours, 6 days a week. It's just not feasible. And what would I do with those 2 hours? Well, I would put them into YouTube and TikTok creation and other social media platforms, like just taking photos of things and creating posts and creating awareness around the brands. Because at the moment, my biggest weakness is the only list of followers and notifications I have are currently Discord, because I did make a Discord towards the end of it because people wanted a place to chat when I was offline, and my follower list, which is only tied to Twitch, and it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get viewers. Live notification clicks are like 0.1%, 0.5% of your followers. There's very, very low percentages of people click those followers. You know, XQC has 7 million followers. He doesn't have 7 million people click that notification. He sits around his, 50 to 100,000 viewers, but most of them aren't getting a notification that they click. They're browsing through Twitch and they're like, oh, look, XQC streaming, and then they click on it. Not many people have the app installed on their phone and actually click on it, or have any way of getting notified on their desktop. I mean, that's something that I'd love Twitch team to introduce further in the future, would be like a desktop app that was widely adapted. Man, if you could notify people when their computer was on that you were live, similar to when a Steam friend starts up a game, that would be so cool. That would really, really help Twitch viewers get pulled back into your stream again when you go live, because I feel like most notifications just go missing. So this has been a little bit rambly. It was a lot of dump from my brain. I've been holding on to this stuff for the last year or so. I've wanted to help and improve a lot of people's streams, and I've done that personally. On my Patreon, I have the ability to pay for coaching and lessons, and I've worked with some really good people that have rapidly started growing themselves, because they just need that structure and they need that mindset change, which is Focus on what makes you unique, what makes you interesting. If you're a beautiful woman, focus on people that like beautiful women. If you've got a great voice, get a good microphone. Make sure the audio's set perfect so that your voice comes through nicely. If you're the best player at a particular game, make sure you mention that you are in your title. Make sure people know that you're the best player. Yes, you get trolls when something goes wrong. You know, people picked on me all the time because it's like, oh, he's an ex-race car driver. No wonder he's an ex because he crashed into the wall. It's like, dude, you watch the pros, they crash all the time. It's just part of being online. But pick what makes you stand out from the crowd. You know, if you're just average at whatever it is, you probably shouldn't be streaming that. It's unless if you want to become a full-time streamer. You know, again, the reason people are super popular on Twitch is they either streamed way back when there was 50 people to pick from, or they've got a massive audience from somewhere else, and next to no one grows just on Twitch alone. I've been a bit of a freak example, and that's why I felt I needed to show off how I did it and why I did it. I did it to prove that you could. It wasn't the best way to do it. I probably would be bigger if I'd focused on the more conventional strategies. But if you've got an extreme case, like I said before, and in the examples where you are just going to be one of the most standout people in a category, if you're the funniest person you know and have met, and you know this because people will tell you. You'll go to a party and everyone will be talking to you and you'll be cracking jokes. And if you're that person, you can succeed on Twitch. But if you're not, you're going to have to focus on other things, other aspects. Pick and choose all the really good highlights. You know, not everyone is Shroud and has the best aim in the world. Not that Shroud has the best aim, because there are people that have better aim than him. He's just interesting and has good aim. He's been there and done that with the best of them and shares his life with us. So again, using that party example, what did people want to talk to me about whenever I was at a party? They heard that I was a race car driver. There'd be 5 people out of 30 people that follow motorsport and want to ask. They want to ask all the questions. They want to know all about it. So if you've got that thing that makes you stand out, like you're an Olympic level athlete, or you produce music, or you've done something that people would find is really cool, Twitch is for you. Like, you will be able to go live and people will want to talk to you and get to know you and ask you lots of questions. Apart from that, you've got to figure out what else makes you different. If you don't fall into a category of, I have something that's exceptionally interesting about me, don't worry. You can still get there. It's just more of a grind. You're not going to have the explosion hit. You know, a viral video is viral, or a viral person's viral because of how unique it is. You know, a cute picture of a dog gets a few likes on Facebook, but an extremely cute picture of an extremely cute dog doing an extremely cute thing, that goes viral. You know, you've got to remember, what can I do to make myself stand out? So now that I've finally finished my brain dump, let's quickly recap. What makes you unique? What is your most interesting feature, or what makes you stand out from everyone else? Watch your replays. Watch your VODs back. If you don't like your own channel, other people won't like it either. You have to be creating something that you like. I find it really hard to believe that people can do something for a long period of time that's something that they don't find interesting themselves. Make sure you don't just become another number at the bottom of a 1,000 viewer list. I picked a brand new game that was underserved. There wasn't a lot of people streaming it. Make sure, if you want to grow just on Twitch, that you're picking a category that has a decent amount of viewers, but not millions, not thousands. You need to be able to pick a category that you'll be able to be seen with a scroll or two. And last but not least, whatever platform you're using, but we are focusing on Twitch today, when they add new features, use them. Use them. They're so heavily favored in algorithms and that sort of thing, and you'll be recommended, or much more likely to be recommended, if you focus on their new features. The people who make these things always overtune them. That's like the new OP hero in a video game or a new OP gun. When it just comes out, it's broken and they have to fix it. So make sure you're abusing those features that they give you, the tools they give you. Make sure you're using them as well. So that's how I got partnered on Twitch in 33 days. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate that you've watched to the end. If you would like to check out my content, I'm live almost every day over on Twitch TV/ultimate_sacrifice. And we do mostly racing games, but occasionally do something else. I've got lots of content that I could do. Let me know in the comments below what you'd like to do. I'll give you a quick little list now. Streaming for a subathon. I did do a subathon and it went for 12 days, 291 hours exactly. I'd set it to thinking that I'd go for like 24, 48 hours, but it went for ages. If you'd like to know how I went about that and continuing it going, I would love to give you guys tips on that. I'd also have the ability to do what happened after my internet died and I wasn't able to stream for a while. Like I literally stopped at the end of this graph here. I can show you what I did to kick the channel back off again and get back into huge numbers. And I can also talk to you about how to attract sponsors and what you can do to promote yourself off platform from Twitch. If you have any crazy ideas you'd love for me to try, I'm all ears. I love trying things out and testing the waters on streaming platforms. That's the whole reason I started the channel originally. It wasn't to become a full-time streamer. It was just to fill my time off during the coronavirus because I was bored. But then I kind of got attached to it and I wanted to keep doing it. So I kept doing it. And now I'm sort of trying out, let's try out these YouTube videos. Let's try out helping out people and see if we can get a bit of a community together, all helping each other and helping each other improve on stream. Anyway, thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.